Hey guys, just want to show another sneak peek of what I do when I'm not writing or studying as a young author. Basically, I hate myself so much that I'm gonna go play some Rocket League. 50 seconds. Well, damn. Well, okay. What should we talk about? I don't know. I'm not sure. What could I say? What could I not say? What could I do? What could I not do? I don't know. Who are you? Why are you in my house? What the fuck? No, I'm joking. Listen. Essentially, I just like playing Rocket League, essentially. Because last time I tried to play League of Legends or over... Last time I tried to play League of Legends, I broke my fucking keyboard. No, sir. No. Yeah! Suck it, fucker! Oh, yeah. No! Ha! I think he's allergic to winning like me, bro. He's just like me. Man, if only I had an editor to make this shit funny. Ha! Yes! Fucking get in! Sorry. As I was saying, currently right now, the books are going well, bit stuck, because obviously, I'm at the stage where we're getting to know basically the beginnings of actual serious character development and oh no, please, no, come on, no, no, shit, go, fuck. Anywho, essentially, I'm really trying to figure. Obviously, I'm at the stage where like we're going through character development. We're seeing who the people are truly. One of my biggest flaws, obviously, despite obviously doing a YouTube video saying how I wrote 40,000 words so quickly, is because it was 40,000 words in 2 books. I have an issue of I got started again. But basically, one of my biggest issues is how I to put this in the simplest and least offensive terms, I'm a fucking idiot with the attention span of a dying piranha, you know, of a dying goldfish, because a piranha when it's dying will actually kill you. Will always can kill you. It's a fucking piranha. But what the fuck am I saying? Anywho, Benisms aside, right? Oh no. Ah, shit. So juicy. That's so juicy! Fucker! No! No, essentially, because I think the benefit I had of having like 2 books, to write 2 books at the same time, is I have accountability. But the problem is now that I am so emotionally invested in 2 different stories at the same time, that now I want to make it work, you know? It's like we have like 2 friends, right? And you're trying to like be the wingman for both of them, right? You're like, scheisse, man. Like, the character development gotta be good, man. You know, like this. And it's funny how like it's what. I know exactly what's gonna happen. I know everything that's gonna happen. Of course, I'm the fucking author. But there are times when I write and I read back the chapter. I'm like, damn, that's some fucking. I didn't fucking expect that. I'm the one who fucking wrote it. You know, it's fun. You know. It's like figuring out, right, that your dad was secretly back fucking the dog, you know? You didn't expect it, but it's character development, you know? Fuck, this is why I'm losing. God's like, nah, man. Oh, please, no. Fuck. Come on. Oh, no, sir. No, please. Sabrina, you fucking failed me! Listen. I'm not proud to admit that I'm absolutely horrible at this game. But in my defense, fuck you. Right? But anywho, it's just that, well, there's quite a few, listen guys, if you guys know how to play Rocket League, okay, do not laugh at me, okay? Despite me being a level 104 or whatever the fuck level I'm in this damn game, right? I still can't manage to do more than 1 goal in this game, okay? Like, please don't judge me. Okay, I get it, you're better than me! No, but essentially it's more of like, oh, two characters, two developments, trying to work through chapters. And one of my biggest problems is that I know how long one of the books is gonna be, and I'm wondering if there's gonna be enough paper in the world by the time it gets finished for it to actually be published. Come on! Come on. No, come on. No. No. Here. Yes. Haha. Life is a highway, and I'm getting fucked all night. No. If you're going my shit. Yeah, baby. Work like me. Boom! Despite, me still being 5'2", but yeah, it's slow, it's steady, but I wished I had more concentration, or like, I hope that, I just wish sometimes that I'm not just amazed with what I write, because sometimes despite me making hours and hours and hours and days and hours and weeks of planning, I write, and then when I'm done writing, I'm like, wait, this wasn't part of the plan. Is it good? Okay, it's actually better than I thought. Okay, we're changing plans. You have to change and replan the whole plot. But that's what I like about my writing style. Despite, I think the only thing that I care about my plot, which I genuinely like, right, is that deep down, the reason why I write without plans, like the first book that I self-published and the second book which I'm publishing right now, what they have in common is that they were written without any plans. Why? Because it was just an idea in my mind. I wanted to create a story, and to be honest, I'm proud of both of them. Why? I think overall I have about 27 stories written, 27 short stories have been written, which 15 have been published, and 12 more will be published hopefully by this year. Hopefully, because obviously I'm still in the works with my publisher that I'm working with right now. But, I'm sort of proud with what's going on with everything, So weirdly enough, despite me being a writer for so long, and plotting so much, and loving to plot, and loving to plan, loving to organize, loving to create things, and organizing bit by bit, and what they do day by day, technically in the aspects of being in the published author sense, I've never done it before. How does that make me feel? And many emotions, to be honest. It's weird because when I look back, I look in all my drawers, I see tons and tons of like old school diaries and packets of foolscaps and printing papers just full to the brim with simply just plots and stories and people that I've never met, that I never got to write about, because I'm like, oh, okay, I love this character, I got super invested in the character, but I never managed to write because I'm like, oh no, I can't do it, But then somehow when I write something out of a whim and literally just said, okay, this came to my head, let me write it, it helped me become a first time and hopefully a second time author, in a way that seems, just because some people write in a way and schools tell you to write in a specific way, does not mean that you have to write in that way. What do I mean by that, right? Am I saying you shouldn't have a coherent plot? Yeah, true. Then shouldn't you write something that makes sense? Yes, of course, but not always. Just because something makes sense doesn't mean it's a good story, right? Like, I know I was explaining other things about like the second collection of short stories, but technically, right, my second collection of short stories, right, most of the titles, they don't directly tell you what they mean. You're supposed to figure it out yourself, which is fun in a way, I read it to some people who were interested in the old, and they all were surprised because for them the titles of the short stories made no sense. But then to them, when they understood the story and they read it, they understood the meaning, you know. So I think just because something doesn't make sense to the normal perspective doesn't mean by the end of the story you're not going to love it, or you're not going to understand it, you're not going to relate with it, you know. I guess it's just about what we think and what we understand. Even language changes just because we plan for a word created. Let's say, for example, one of my favorite examples of a word changing meaning is the word bait. Bait is a Maltese word, right? Originally, bait came from the, if I'm not mistaken, the old Arabic word for house. Why? Because Malta, between the years 870 and 1091 AD, was under Arab rule, right? But then over time, bait went from house to roof. Does that mean that that word doesn't make any sense anymore? In the context that it was before, or what people thought of the time before, yeah, sure. But doesn't mean that's lost its purposeness. Same as novels, right? For just because something doesn't make sense, or something isn't how people normally thought of before, doesn't mean that's not good. You know how many amazing small authors just that I have noticed and I've talked to, who just fucking wipe the floor with just their works, but they will never see the light of day because they don't write, or they don't understand, or they don't think the same way that people think. And I'm gonna sound like a liberal arts person, which I'm not, right? You know, I'm a person who essentially his whole studying career post secondary school has been mostly STEM subjects, right? Engineering and hopefully soon finance. You know, if you obviously do KCC, I've been doing accounting, which becomes a STEM subject for a while. You know, I've only been an art student, right? As a fan of art, as someone who used to love drama, someone who used to study art in secondary school. You know, because in a way, even when it comes to engineering, you know, Brunelleschi was the person who made the dome of the basilica. I believe it's the basilica or the cathedral of Florence. I will, if when I find the correct information, I will say another video, right? But most domes were built in a specific shape and format, but because of the church being so massive, they end up with no dome and being basically flat. For a long time, the longest standing dome was of the Pantheon. The Pantheon was already quite an ancient building. If I'm not mistaken, it was already about at least 1,000 years old by the time that Brunelleschi took the task of constructing the actual dome. What did he do? He thought of it as an egg. He did double layering and figured out that through nature, through the art of nature, if it was more egg-shaped and used a more egg-like structure, it could hold more weight. People thought he was crazy. He just thought he was a man obsessed with chickens. And Christian, even modern architecture wouldn't have been like that if it wasn't for people like him. Okay? Just because you don't do what schools or life tells you what to do does not mean that what you're doing is wrong. Well, there are things which I believe are morally wrong, but that's why we have opinions. That's why we fight for our opinions. That's why we fight for freedom of speech. You know, this reminds me a lot of there was a debate between someone who was part of Bite to Bacon, who was on the hot seat against people who were against jokes. If you have to be no, listen, okay. We have the right to freedom of speech. Not allowing someone to have a joke is reducing their freedom of speech. Obviously, a freedom of speech also determines to freedom of also refers to freedom of consequences. But I do not believe the government should arrest people simply because someone had a joke. You know, there's no physical altercation to it. You know, if you feel offended, then shut the fuck up. You know, or fire back. You know, like We have words and debate for a reason. People are literally dying for the simple reason having an opinion different than others. Okay? We have literally gone back to the tribalistic ideas that our ancestors fought to kill. You know? There are many people who live in the past who would kill for the simple right, for the simple idea of expressing themselves fully. I don't like how some people, like for example Colleen Hoover, romanticize and sexualize things such as domestic violence, but it's her story. And if there's a and in a capitalist world, which I believe is much better than a socialist or a communist world, right? If there is, right? How can I explain this better? If there's a market, if there's demand, right? It should be provided. If there's a story to tell, it's their story, right? Just because Little Red Riding Hood was written hundreds of years ago doesn't mean someone can't take the story and improve it. But they should also not expect everyone to like the story, you know? Like, you shouldn't blame people for not liking the new Snow White, because let's be honest, the new Snow White is fucking shit. You know, but they had the freedom to express a new story. You know, it is what keeps the balance of life, right? We have the freedom to express yourself. You need to understand there's also a freedom of criticism. No matter what you do, they could be wrong, they could be not understanding the context, but you must respect it, because in that case, when you ruin the balance of what is there, you ruin the basis of society, you ruin the basis of what is art, what is science, what's understanding, what is religion, what is anything. You need to understand that free will is one of the most important things we have. This is not a political statement. This is someone who is writing and understanding that, hey, listen, what people have told me that I should write hasn't been something that has worked for me. You know, I'm very thankful that I wrote down what the characters look like, what the characters are doing, because it's my first actual like try of trying to do an actual full-length novel, actually 2 full-length novels at the same time, and fully trying to understand it. So I'm experimenting, you know. So you need to experiment, you need to try, you need to take risks. Because if you do not take risks, you will not, and I mean not, ever in a million years achieve. Okay? Well, thank you to my TED Talk. I'm going to keep on trying to not lose on Rocket League, and I'll see you all in the next episode, my lovely peoples. Bye! Bye!